my knights in a shiny armor. Namaskar, beautiful family.
Welcome back to another video. So, we were wondering, what are we gonna do this week? And we've actually never spoken about this to you guys, or maybe we have, but a lot of you might be curious on who said I love you first.
Yeah.
So we thought, let's do a story time video, as we haven't done one for a long time, and just take you through how that process happened and who said it first.
Yeah.
Now, some of you might know who said it because we may have mentioned this in previous videos. So if you haven't checked out the previous videos, make sure you guys check out all our previous videos if you have the time. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, any comments, make sure you leave it down in the comment section below.
And also make sure that you guys follow our Instagram and like our Facebook pages.
We're actually getting close to 400 followers on Instagram. So
we actually post a lot of sometimes random videos on there, and a lot of our pictures that we have never shown to any of you guys on YouTube. So if you guys want to get to know more about us, like what do we do on daily life, definitely make sure that you follow our Instagram.
Let's move ahead with our video.
So the topic that we're going to talk about today is who said I love you first. Now, we did a poll on community post, and a lot of you guys voted for Zack.
And we will reveal the answer towards the end of the video, so make sure you guys stay tuned until then. So till then, we'll just take you through what was happening in our lives at that point.
Let's lay down the background. Right? We've been dating for 3 years now, a little bit over 3 years, and this was back in when we first started dating, was 2017 October. Right?
November. October, November.
Well, we started dating 2017 October, but this thing probably happened in November.
No, I think probably
December?
a little ways after. Yeah. So initially when we started dating, Summer was actually learning French and I was studying, and we didn't really have the time to actually meet each other as much.
But we made sure that we would spend
maybe 1 day or 2 days a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least throughout the whole week, that we would have at least 1-2 whole days together. Yeah.
And I used to work over the weekends, so I didn't really have the time, and Summer was teaching Mandarin at the time too, so our schedules weren't really matching quite a bit.
Yeah.
So we tried to spend time together. We tried to at least spend maybe a day or two a week together, and then after that, I believe I had my vacation, so I started spending more time with her, and we were actually living together for some time, for about a week or so. We actually lived together.
Yeah, because that time I was living alone in my aunt's house. You know what? We can spend more time together. Why not? Get to know each other better, and yeah.
So if you guys have probably heard about this, we've actually spoken about this before, where we've said that one of us said it when we were having a fight. And when I say when we were having a fight, when we were actually fighting, and it was kind of for a stupid reason. So when she was learning French, this is something I got to know, and I kind of had a feeling when I first started dating her.
Yeah, so this is gonna be the first time ever we share you guys the story. We actually opened up and share you guys the story. Yeah.
So her professor had a crush on her.
Yeah.
And I had a feeling, because the way she spoke about him to me, she was naive enough. She didn't understand that this guy was actually throwing hints. And I told her about it, and I told her that, this is quite unprofessional, and the fact that he's a professor and he's actually flirting with you is not correct. And she didn't realize that he was flirting with her at the moment.
Well, back then I was probably I just graduated from university, and I was probably 20 something yeah.
You were more oh, he's just a friend, he's just being friendly, nothing else. Funny enough, we were having a lot of clashes on that, and again, she thought that I was being too, what's the word? Possessive.
Possessive. So I started dating him, right? But of course I didn't announce the world and be oh, everybody, I have a boyfriend, I started dating now, right? So one of my best friends, we were taking the French lessons together, right? So on that morning when I went to the French lessons and I was talking to her during break time that about how was our first date, right? So I was like, oh my god, like he's like this, he's like that, I really like him, and we did this, we did that. So the professor kind of like heard it or like eavesdropped it. When the class actually started, he was asking me all sort of questions, and so we will always do like those conversation practice in French, right? So instead of asking me like those general questions of hi, how are you and stuff like that, he actually started asking me about how was my first date with you in French. Like my best friend was like, why would you keep asking her that? Like that was private, right? You're not supposed to ask her all of that. So that was the time that when I actually starting to realize that, you know, oh, he is like he's being very rude and very offensive in a way that, you know, he didn't really respect my privacy, right? And I don't need to tell you why did I get a boyfriend or what did me and my boyfriend do on Friday night, right? And I went home and I told him that. And was it the next morning that you went to pick me up?
Yep. And I was really mad at that, so I decided to go and pick her up. So I didn't tell her I'm coming. I just
it was kind of like a surprise visit.
Yeah, I just out of the blue just asked her, like I think a week. I planned this a week before, and I told her, you know what's your address and all. Like took a day off from college, and I just went to pick her up, and I met the guy.
I was shocked though.
Yeah.
Like when, so our class finished around noon time, and then you called me. I remember very clearly, and then I picked it up, and then you were like, oh, "I'm here." I'm like, "Here where?" Like here. Just wait. And then like right after that, I hand up the phone, and you came in the classroom, and I immediately went to hug you. Right? I was feeling like shocked, surprised, happy, and immediately went to hug you. And I think the whole class went like silent, and then the French professor stood in front of you and was like, "Oh, so this is your boyfriend?" Kind of like that.
Yeah, and I responded, yeah, I am.
Yeah.
And I just introduced myself, and
yeah, and the funny thing is that the whole class literally went silent, and like because everybody can feel the tensions between you two, even though you two are like far away from each other, right? And
yeah, because I wasn't there to play around. I just walked in, and I was not happy with the way he was treating me, first of all.
Yeah.
Which kind of pissed me off quite a bit, and I made sure that the vibes I gave off was not a friendly vibe towards him. And he knew.
Sure everybody in the classroom that they felt it.
Yeah, and he basically knew after that I'm not the guy you want to screw around with.
Yeah. And let's just say that moment when you step in the classroom, you are like my knights in a shiny armor. And after that, I wasn't really feeling comfortable, and then so I kind of like stopped going to classes, or I would just like go like 1 or 2 every week, because I'll just tell my best friend to give me the notes. So, and then he started messaging me. He's like, oh, what's wrong? Why you stop coming to class and all of that? So I explained to him the reasons. And then I think after that, at some point, he kind of said like, oh, I'm sorry if I'm like sending you the
I'm being too pushy.
Yeah, the wrong, if you're getting the wrong message or whatever. He kind of said it that way. And I was like, oh, you know what else I'm gonna say, right? Like it is what it is, and it happened, and it's okay. Like we're all good. I'm not gonna do anything. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna like finish it off, and you can send me the final exams. So he actually sent me the final exams through emails, and then I did it. I sent it to him, and I graduated, and I got the certificate, and that was it. I guess that was kind of the one major thing that kind of push our relationship further, would you say?
Yeah, and I think especially when you started realizing that I'm not gonna let anybody affect you mentally. And if I'm there, nobody's gonna mess with you.
Yeah, and I felt that was also the moment that I felt really safe with you. That I know that as long as I'm with you, I'm safe and I feel secure. which is really important.
There's another part of the story that actually you guys should know, and the fact that I was suffering through depression quite a bit.
Yeah. So when we first started dating, he told me a lot of the stories of like he was feeling depressed.
So before I met her, and this was not long before I met her, it was basically, so I started feeling that depressive feeling a year after I moved here. And when I moved, I kind of, I was worried about financials, because when I first moved here, I was kind of partying, and I just would feel depressed. I would feel lonely, so I'd just go out, try to drink more, which wasn't a good, healthy lifestyle. And I spent my money on stupid crap like that. And then I started to realize that, okay, I'm not doing well financially. I don't have a good job that I need to focus on. I need to change my habits. So there were times where I basically did not have more than $10 in my bank account. And that was tough, because when you have $10 in your bank account, what are you going to eat? I had some friends that actually helped me through this, and I started feeling lonely. And when I felt lonely, I would push everybody away. And the problem was, it was a vicious cycle, because I'd push people away, and then people would come to me, and then I push them away, and then I would think, why are these people not coming to me? It was basically a vicious cycle where I feel that way. So there was a time where I actually went out partying, and I saw all of my friends doing well with girls they just met. Like, everybody had girlfriends, everybody had somebody who loved them. And I felt that I had nobody that loved me except for my family. But I couldn't tell my family this. So it was the night I was walking by, the thought of suicide actually hit my head, and it kind of freaked me out initially when the first thought pops in your head. So I called the suicide hotline, and they basically tell me that, you've reached the wrong department, you have to call somebody else.
Seriously?
Yeah, basically that's what they tell me for a guy who's feeling suicidal. So I remember not long before my birthday, I felt like complete crap, and I was in college, I couldn't study well, I was, just getting by. So I go back to my, so I was thinking of going home and actually ending it. And that was how I felt that day, and I said, you know what, I'm probably going to end it today. So once I'm gone, nobody's going to have to suffer, including me. I know my family might suffer for a bit, but they'll get over it after a few years. And that was my thinking, exactly, which was selfish, I agree. I was just thinking about myself at that point. But this is for all the people who are depressed. I know how it feels, because being suicidal is not an easy thing. It screws you, and it really, really buries whatever feelings you have inside, and it changes you for the worse. And it's kind of like a hole that you keep digging for yourself, that once you're deep in, it's kind of hard to get out. So luckily, my friends realized that I was acting really strange, and they actually pulled me aside, and they were talking to me, and I spoke to them about how I felt, and obviously they weren't happy about it. And they said they would call the cops if I continue down this path, and if the cops were involved, it wouldn't have been the best decision, right? Because they'd send me back to India, basically, if I'm mentally unwell. So I felt a little better speaking to them. Everybody were with me, but also they didn't want to do anything with me. Why? Because
because of the negative energies and everything.
Exactly, yeah. So people who think that, okay, you're depressed and people are going away from you, yes, that is true, because you're portraying that sort of energy. So this is all I went through just 4 months after I met her. And then one of my friends told me about something that I never really thought about, is about self-love, like how much I should have, that before I love anybody else, before somebody loves me, I need to...
You should love yourself, always.
So I started getting into working out. I started being very serious with my health. I was eating healthy, and I realized that, okay, eating healthy, I'm actually saving a lot more money than eating outside. So I'd buy groceries, I'll meal prep. I'd meal prep once a week on Sundays. I'll cook for 6 hours and I'll prep my meals for the whole week. And I started working out intensively. I'll wake up at 5 a.m. every single day for 3 months. I woke up every single day.
That's impressive.
Yeah. I worked out in the morning, worked out when I came back from college.
Mm-hmm.
And then slowly I started feeling confident because I started losing weight. I started realizing that, okay, people like me now.
Yeah.
I started dressing up well and I noticed people's energies actually changed around me.
Yeah.
Because initially when I was giving a negative vibe, people would, go away from me. But when I started actually putting a positive vibe,
You
people
start
were
to
attracted.
attract more positive energy and more positive people
Yep.
to you. Yeah.
And basically, soon after I met her, and we hit it off. But then, when that feeling doesn't just go away that easy. Like this is not something that just disappears. And there was a night where I had a scare that she might have to go back to China, and it scared me a lot.
Yeah, because I think it was because my study permit was expiring, and I was kind of like debating between going back to China or just staying here.
Or you were gonna move to Windsor.
Probably struggling to get a job, or continue study in Canada for like I don't know another 3-4 years for a master degree. So I was quite struggling back then. Yeah.
And she basically had a decision to make whether she would study. She wasn't sure whether she'd get admission in Toronto.
Yeah.
So she'd have to move to a different town, and if she had to move to a different town, that would mean
that we would be in a long distance relationship, which both of us know that it's not gonna work out for us. Like,
especially because I was scared because we just started dating, and going to a long distance relationship wouldn't be been the best thing.
Yeah. So I talked to him about it, and we're like crying and be like, what's gonna be the future for us?
And basically, when you told me that, it kind of that feeling of me being lonely started creeping up again.
Yeah.
Because I realized that she was the one person who loved me a lot, and that's why I wanted to spend my time with her. And when I realized that she was probably gonna go away, it hurt quite a bit.
Yeah.
And I was fresh from that wound, so it didn't help. Coming out of depression, I had to do this all over again. So.
But then I decided.
Well, the thing was, I kind of broke down in front of you that night.
Yeah.
Because we were discussing, and I kind of broke down, and I told her everything about my depressive feeling, about how I was before I met her.
Yeah.
And it was very recent, and how things were different, and how I was suicidal, and I told her everything. Told her every single detail that I had, and
I was just like, I didn't instantly say anything. And
I was on your lap actually. I was on your lap anyway.
And I was just holding him, and I said, you know what? I'm not letting you go. I'm not letting you alone ever, and we're gonna be together forever. I'm staying, and I'm gonna tell my mom tomorrow. That's when I actually decided to do that.
And that's when basically Summer said, I love you.
Yeah.
That's when she realized that she actually loved me, and I kind of realized it too when actually she was there talking to me all this time. And soon after things worked out, she got admission in a private college, and then she got admission in a public college. So she actually did very well, and now she's gonna apply for a PR soon.
Yeah. So I guess like when your loved ones show you that their vulnerable sides, it's when you really realize that they really love you, and you really love them back, because you know that like as long as you guys stay together, nothing vulnerable it's gonna matter, because together we stay stronger. Yeah, no matter what.
So basically, guys, that's our story about how what led to Summer saying I love you first.
Yeah, that was actually quite emotional. I have like tears in my eyes.
Yeah, because we actually forgot about all of it until we actually think past to like what happened and how things actually led to one thing to another. So I guess everything happens for a good reason, and you know,
Just
we got to share this with you guys. I
Yeah.
never expected to share my depression story with anybody. So guys, that is basically who said I love you first. And if you guys got the answer correct, that was Summer.
So that was a really nice story that we share with you guys, and it's also a very vulnerable side of Zack that we share with you. We hope that you really appreciate it and you enjoyed our story. And for those of you, you know, who experience similar things, what would you say to them?
So guys, if you're suffering through depression, don't forget, you guys need to talk to people. It's friends, families, your mother, your father. Definitely speak to them. Don't pull what I pulled by, you know, feeling suicidal. It's not worth it. You're doing a lot more harm than actually doing any good.
Yeah.
Especially for your families. So if you ever feel like that, you know, you can always message us too on Instagram, and I'd love to talk to you guys too.
Yeah.
So guys, once again, thank you so much for sticking out with us for so long. We're actually reaching close to 12,000 subscribers.
And we're excited for that. Thank you guys so much for all your love and support once again. And we just hope that you guys are happy and safe.
Yep. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
See you guys. Bye. Love you.